Hey collective, it's Al, and welcome back to the channel. This video is actually going to be directed to those of you who live around the Ring of Fire. As many of you know, as a spiritual leader, that I have been warning us for the past 6 months that I knew that something was coming. It was premonition, and it was something that I was sure of. And one of the things that I had noted is that I specifically had seen volcanoes started off, and that after Easter, that the 7 years of tribulation would begin with a set of earthquakes. And I specifically stated that, and you guys saw it on the channel. I'm going to reference 3 videos of mine that are at least a month old, and not in because I didn't go all the way back to where I first started saying this. But a month ago I posted, how you choose to experience what is to come is entirely up to you, and that was a month ago. 3 weeks ago I posted, sometimes the truth of what will happen is not easy to hear. And then about a week and a half ago I posted, are you ready for the next 7-year cycle of tribulation? Now, people thought I was nuts, and that's fine. I never really worry about other people's opinions of me, but the game is over, so to speak. As of the 17th, which I had predicted, I said that on the 15th specifically we would have an earthquake, and it happened on the 15th in the morning as we went to the 16th. And then I had stated that my indication was somewhere around the 21st to the 26th, California would get hit by a very big earthquake. And sure enough, I had a dream last night where I was sitting in the middle of a park by the beach, and it was broad daylight, and all of a sudden a massive earthquake hit. And what I did is I put down my computer, I got up, and there was a stop sign in the middle, and I went and grabbed the stop sign, and I held the stop sign and watched as everything around me came crashing down, and then immediately started running inland and up a big mountain to get away from, I guess, the tsunami. Now, I'm not being an alarmist. I'm actually telling you what I've been telling you all for a very long time, because that is what spiritual leadership is. Some of you are chosen and are anointed to tell the truth of things before they happen, so that people start to wake up and to realize what it is going on. So sure enough, I looked it up, and as of the 17th of this month, the entire Ring of Fire has been activated. There has been earthquake after earthquake after earthquake after earthquake after earthquake, and now everything that I said is coming true. So here's what I want to say to the collective. Instead of being panicked about what's about to happen in California, if you have the opportunity to take a little day trip, get in the car with the kids and the dog and go to Vegas. Spend 3 days there. Wait till the big moon is over, especially if you live in the Cascadia area, because that is what the original dream 4 months ago was about, was Cascadia. It was like a Cascade event, and that's how I figured out it was Cascadia. And so if that is the location where it is, go on vacation if you can. I would love to get the fuck out of California right now, because I've been right about everything for the past year and a half. But that can't happen at the moment. So I'm going to write it out, and that's what we're going to talk about as leaders. Do you, as an individual person, know what your account information is, what your bank information is? Do you have cash on hand? Is your car fully, does it have gas in it? Is it parked in under the building, or is it parked on the street? There's a big difference. During an earthquake, do you know that if the building starts to come down, once you make it outside, you get away from power lines, and you get away from the building itself, and you hit the ground like you're praying, and you anchor yourself, and you and the kids, and you hold on, and you will be fine. The problem is the structural damage that comes down around you, right? And don't look at me like I'm being an alarmist. I'm being a realist. That is what's happening. So as the Ring of Fire activates, and as we all go through this rite of passage for the collective, understand that community is everything. The one thing that I've noticed is that we've been isolated and afraid to get near each other. And what I want you all to remember, that it is camaraderie, brotherhood, and sisterhood that will get us through this. It's an 8 something is what I saw in the dream. So if that is true, then it's going to be rather jarring. Everything that you can do to be better prepared is what I would advise. If you have a relative who does not know of me, I don't need to be famous for it. Call them and just say, hey, are you prepared for an earthquake? There seems to be a lot of activation going around the Ring of Fire. And there's this dude who's been right this entire year and a half about what was to come. And he says, just be ready. He is asking us all to know how to get out of the interstate area without being on the freeway, because we don't know at night when there's no lights, if everything goes out like it typically does, how the best route is, because you may not see that the bridge is out, or you may not see that the freeway has collapsed. And so what is your square route out of your vicinity if you need to get out of the area? And it's not to be an alarmist, it's to be centered and present so that you can hear your inner and higher guidance say to you, go left, go right, and take your time. Don't speed, don't do anything reckless, don't vandalize anything. Just take care of you and listen for that voice in your head. This is why it was said and prophesied that during this time of trials and tribulations, it would be those who were listening and were awake. Be awakened to every day. Be grateful every day. You live in grace and gratitude. Every day that you see a tree and you see something in your neighborhood, observe it and make sure that you love your family. Make sure that you say thank you to God, Allah, whoever you believe in. But whatever you do, be centered. Find that strength within you if you're in California or in Japan or anywhere, or Tonga or Somalia, wherever you are around the Ring of Fire. Just be grateful and present for every second of your life. And just know that this is a domino effect. This, like I had warned about 4 months ago, that it would be domino effect. It would kick off with an earthquake and it would be a series of events that would take off from there. But I didn't know specifically it was literally a series of earthquakes that would go around the entire Ring of Fire. And specifically for some reason Cascadia is set to go off, and that will affect all of the western seaboard. And so with events like that, instead of being terrified of it, you just know that it is what it is. All of us knew that we had been abusing our planet for a very long time. And now Gaia is kind of going, get the fuck, you know what I mean? Or it's just cyclical, a part of nature, whatever it is. If you are spiritually sound and you are spiritually sound, have spiritual sovereignty, then you know that you will be fine. You are never alone. And if you have to go this route like I do by myself, just know that God and whatever you believe in is with you. Just be prepared in worst case scenario. If I'm wrong and you're able to get out for a few days out of LA, then for those 3 days, you have a nice little vacation where you spend quality time with your family. But I haven't been wrong so far. So instead of being a leader who hides from the truth, I'm bringing it to you, and I'm saying directly to California, be ready. It is coming. It is something that will happen to at least one part of us. Cascadia runs all the way down through Portland, all the way down here. If you're in those areas, just be prepared. The more centered and prepared you are, the less of a reaction you will have in the moment. You will keep your equilibrium and you'll be able to think quickly and move quickly. That is the rite of passage. For those of you who I love and adore, if something, heaven forbid, happens and I don't make it through it, just know that I had a wonderful life. And I am grateful for everything I ever had. And wherever I go into this transitional phase, whether I make it through or I don't, I'm grateful to have known you and loved you. And I'm grateful to have this time on my own to do this. I wish I could be somewhere else right now, but it's just not economically sound, and with everything going on, it's just not viable. So since I don't have a way out, it's good to prepare each other and to be the community that God wants us to be. This is a collective endeavor, and this will affect the collective. As a whole, we have the opportunity here to rise above the chaos that's about to play out. We've known it in political warfare, we've known it in religious warfare, we've known it in all sorts of things, but where it counts is in us being there for each other. And that's what I want you all to think about as we go through this period.